Urus is a big deal for Lamborghini. When the SUV came out a couple years back, it shot sales through the stratosphere for the luxury Italian automaker. Now the new Urus SE is here, the next generation. We'll talk to CEO Stefan Winkelmann about why this car is so important, and we'll also get behind the wheel. Joining me now is CEO Stefan Winkelmann. Stefan, you spoke earlier about how you were at the original launch of the first Urus. Now we're seeing the second generation. How important is this car, this franchise, to Lamborghini?
It's an important pillar for automobile Lamborghini because it helps also to put more effort, more resources on the supercars like the Revuelto or the Temerario. And this car made a big change for Lamborghini. Even though we have not always and only been a super sports car company because we were born with GT cars, and we had also in our life cycle the LM002, which was the first SUV back at end of the 70s.
I think a lot of people don't realize you had a big hand in bringing the Urus to life, talking about that past lineage with the LM002. With the second generation, what were some of the most important things you wanted to accomplish with the next model?
Maybe we wanted to stay with this car as a super sports car inside the SUV segment. So it's about the power to weight ratio, because when you do a hybrid car, because this is a hybrid car, so it's about adding power and not too much weight. So this is very important because for us, yes, acceleration, top speed is key, but even more is the handling behavior. So the lightness of the car, so how you get into the corners, how you get out of the car, so also the reactiveness of the car, the emotion which is giving the car back to you as a driver.
And there's a balance there, right? Because of the fact that you have a battery now sitting in the back, but that can aid also with handling, and then you have that electric motor to sort of fill in the gaps where you have any kind of power loss. Not that this car has any power loss, as I've discovered earlier today. What are some of the more, the elements of the new design that you actually like a lot with the new kind of elements here with the front and back and things like that?
What I like a lot, if you want to follow, is that we have a complete new diffuser. We have this edge here in the middle, and with this part of as a design element, the car looks even larger than before. And this, in my opinion, is one of the highlights of the car, so the back as a total. Then if we move to the front, I like a lot the new headlights. No, they look like tails of a fighting bull. And then also the engine cover is now one piece, so the logo is inside the cover. And this is one of the things, or one of the things which I really appreciate a lot.
All right, we are in the new Lamborghini Urus SE Hybrid. Super sports activity vehicle, as they call it. So driving around this new car, you know, we heard from Lamborghini CEO Stefan Winkelmann about the importance of this car and what some of the things, the challenges that they had in making the second generation. And I know I drove that first car, and pretty impressive. You know, say what you will if you are a fan of super SUVs. I'm not opposed to them at all. I think they serve their purpose for what people want. And for Lamborghini, it was a big deal for them to come out with that vehicle, and it just sort of nuclear launched their sales, right? So a big deal. And this car, so on the road, you know, had a privilege of driving it on the road, highways and smaller roads, and the car, it does feel very stable and very planted, as you would expect for one of these vehicles. Now, you can hear the exhaust because I'm in sport mode, but this car is also a hybrid, right? So let's go into EV mode. And is it going to turn off here? Yes. So now we're in pure EV mode. The car has a motor that's attached to the transmission, and that allows for a seamless sort of transition between gas and electric, and then electric fill used to sort of enhance the performance of the car. So in EV mode, you're going to get about 30 to 37 miles pure electric range, which is pretty good. About a 26 kilowatt hour battery sitting in the back, a on top of the rear axle, so giving you a little bit of weight in the kind of area where you want to kind of balance out the axle of the car, making it more 50-50 weight balance, better for handling, things like that. And you know, that's what matters when you're doing sort of performance driving on the track and things like that. Now, we're not doing that necessarily right now, and I have to tell you, it is again, in EV mode, super smooth. It's quiet. It's almost more pleasurable to drive in EV mode. It's just smooth. You're not going to get the insane power that we sort of used to with the Lamborghini, but it's actually a very livable car. Calming it back into sport. Here the exhausts go on right there. With the combination of electric power, it kind of fills in the gaps where you might have a loss of power, you know, maybe at not a loss of power, but not as much power in initial launch, or when the car is changing gears. Sometimes you lose a little bit of power there during the gear shift. This vehicle allows you to sort of power through that, and you really sort of feel that. You know, I had the opportunity to take it actually off-road in a little course Lamborghini set up, sand, rocky formations, and the car was, you know, we weren't even using off-road tires, and the car was pretty capable on that kind of terrain, and which is sort of surprising given the fact that we're in this what seems to be a Lamborghini. You know, this is not supposed to be an off-road. I mean, it is, but it's not really supposed to. And who's going to take this car off-road? You'd be kind of nuts. But lo and behold, you can. You put it into a it's called Terra, which is the off-road mode. Put that in off-road mode, you can actually go off-road. We also were able to take the car and drift it. That's the second thing. They added a new special limited slip differential in the back, electronic diff, and that allows for more play in the rear of the car. You get more power, you get more weight with that battery there, and you have the ability to kind of spin the tires, the left and right tires, a bit more aggressively, and that gives you the ability to do the drifting. Now again, are you going to be drifting your Lamborghini? If you have the money and you don't care, sure, and you don't care about your tires, but it just kind of shows you the capability of the car. And that's what we're talking about here, ultimately, is this new platform that Lamborghini is using, that it's sort of in the Volkswagen family, turbo V8 combined with the electric motor in the transmission, 8-speed gearbox, battery in the back, and new differential. This is the main enhancements of the car that Lamborghini is sort of focusing on to make this car even more performance-oriented, more special. Whether it's worth the cost is another thing, but I think people at that level, at that level of purchasing power, they want something special. You know, they're willing to spend more money. You know, you can get the Porsche Cayenne Turbo GT hybrid version, which is almost the same as this car, for about $100,000 less, if not more. But what car looks like this car? This car looks like it's a snake, a thicker snake, but a snake nonetheless. A very kind of aggressive-looking car, and I think that's why people are a fan of the Urus, for better or for worse. It has got sales of this car pretty strong. It has a pretty strong fan base, and you know, it's actually getting a younger driver. It's getting more diverse driver, and that's what Lamborghini wants for their new cars. What do you want to see your clients doing in this car? Is it going off-road? Is it going on the sand and the beach? Or is it strictly sort of, it's your daily car, but it's also a Lamborghini? So
it's a daily car, so you can do much more than with a supercar, for sure, in terms of daily usability. So commuting, but also in terms of the stop and go, heavy traffic is not something which is carrying this car. But then also going on the racetrack is something which we do from time to time, and it's really fun. And then off-road, like let's say gravel roads, they are really things which make this car outstanding in, let's say, in the emotional area.